Our second round pick was interesting because in my in my preview I was like, I don't think we need a safety. I like what we got in Pinnock. I like what we have in Belton. We just picked up Jalen Mills. We have Javarius Owens, our draft pick from last year that didn't see any playing time really last year, but still a decent prospect. I didn't mind the safety room. In my mind, we lose Adoree Jackson, and we have a major hole at CB2. And I know Nick McLeod played well in Adoree's absence whenever Adoree was out for an extended period of time. But Cordell Flott, has he taken the next step to become CB2? Darnay Holmes is more of a slot guy. So I thought that we were going to go cornerback in round 2. Instead, we go safety. Tyler Nubin, Minnesota Golden Gopher, with the 15th pick over the 15th pick of the second round. Tyler Nubin, who is the highest graded safety. He got an A grade. The Giants got an A grade for this pick. He is the highest graded safety with a 6.33 grade. According to Next Gen Stats, he has a total score of 72, which is considered good, on the lower end of good. His estimated athleticism score is not great. 58, which is average or below average, which was 22nd, ranked 22nd amongst the safety prospects. So apparently not really an athletic guy, but after seeing his tape and seeing breakdowns and whatnot, the guy is a ball hawk and can bait quarterbacks. Now, there are times where he does take chances and risks based on what he's seeing, and he gets burned. So hopefully we can cut down on that. But my God, it'd be nice to have a fucking ball hawk. We just have not had. I mean, I want to say the last safety to have a ton of picks was Stevie Brown in like 2013, I think, or 2014. So we just haven't really had a safety that's come up and picked the ball like I would love to have, like a Terry Kennard-esque type player. That was taking you old school with that shit. So I don't know. Best safety in the draft, okay. Did we need a safety? Not really. And there were other, understandably, I think the top 5 corners were off the board by the time we picked in the second round. The fucking Eagles got 2 of the top 5, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. So their secondary, which was a big weakness last season, with James Bradbury kind of leaning towards him getting cut. I think that was a major issue for them down the stretch. So they've kind of refortified their secondary, son of a gun. And so now there were just other corners to be had. 7, in fact. I went through. This is just according to grades. I didn't look at the Next Gen Stats. So the Next Gen Stats probably tell a different story. But these are the picks that we could have had, prospects that we could have selected with the 15th pick of the second round. Going from highest graded to lowest graded. Enos Orakastraw Jr. from Mizzou, who was one of the projected corners to go to the Giants. He ends up getting selected by the Lions, 6.35 grade. Renardo Green from Florida State. So Enos went at the 29th pick of the second round to the Lions. Renardo Green, Florida State, was the last pick of the second round, who went to the 49ers, 6.34 grade. Chris Abrams-Drain, also from Mizzou, went in round 5 to the Broncos, 6.25 grade. Mike, I don't want to pronounce this, Sangristil from Michigan, went to the Commanders just 3 picks after we selected, 6.24 grade. TJ Tampa, who I think Dan Duggan and possibly Dane Bruler thought would be a Giant, from Iowa State, went in round 4, towards the end of round 4, to the Ravens, 6.24 grade. Elijah Jones from BC went towards the end of round 3 to the Cardinals, 6.23. And Kalen Carson from the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, round way at the end of round 5 to the Cowboys, 6.22. So there's 7 corners that, if you're going by this grade system, could eventually be plus starter or an average starter, which is all you can ask for, really, considering the top 5 were off the board. I would have thought that we would have gone with them as opposed to the highest graded safety, Tyler Nubin. I'm not too miffed about it, to be honest. I think that Tyler Nubin is now projected. They released like a very premature depth chart or predictions on the depth chart, and they say that he will be the starter over Dane Belton. I think that'll be an interesting competition at camp. Competition's good. Competition breeds winners. That quote? I don't know. I'm a competitive fuck, and I always lose. Does it make me a better person? I don't know. Probably not. Round 3, we went corner, and we went with Andru Phillips out of Kentucky, who the Giants got an A grade for this, which was interesting. His grade personally is a 6.22. So I think this is a very deep corner draft. And maybe that went to the thinking. It was like, well, this draft is not deep at safety. So let's take the top safety because there's not much else left there. Meanwhile, Andru Phillips is ranked I don't even think he was top 10 corners ranked, but yet he has a 6.22 grade. So he can eventually be a good starter. His next gen stats, not great. He's average, 67. Production score is 60. Athleticism score is estimated at 69. The rankings there, for production, was 37th. For athleticism, it's 19th. For total score, it's 31st. So in terms of next gen, but if you go by the grade, NFL Draft Tracker grade was 6.22, yeah, I guess you're looking at possible year 2 starter. So, and he seems pretty pumped to be with the Giants. He seems pretty pumped to be reunited with Wan'Dale Robinson. Looks forward to going against him in training camp. Maybe he could, I don't know. So again, competition. I don't think you're not going to hand him CB2 right off the bat. I don't think you're going to hand Tyler Nubin the starting safety position. You got to kind of see how he stacks up, I think. And if he ultimately wins it, great. And if Andru Phillips wins it, then great. I don't know how they determine who wins because for the fucking love of God, Trey Hawkins was our CB2 coming out of training camp last year. So whatever methods they're using to test, and maybe this is why Wink Martindale is no longer with the New York Giants, is because his assessment and methods of assessing probably not the best. You're not the best around.